and welcome to today's live Q&A. I'm Katie Keith, CEO at Barn2.
And I'm Sam, and I handle all of the main video tasks here at Barn2, and I'm basically in charge of showing off all of the plugins. So that's what we're here to do today. We're going to show off some of our plugins, answer some of your questions, some of which we've already received, and some of which I'm sure you guys will leave here on the live stream, and we can answer them live for you, depending on how complex the question is, of course. But if it's
We
really
will try.
complex, yeah, we can try, and then we can email you after, of course, and yeah, or redirect you to support if it's really complicated. So yeah, that's the basic format of this call is we go through some of what we already have in terms of preset questions that have already been submitted, and then we're always replying to your comments. So get in and leave those comments. Hello to Cameron Jones. Thanks for joining us on YouTube.
Hey, Cameron.
All right.
So
And,
we'll start. Sorry.
What's up first?
Let's start with some company news, just some general updates. One thing that's very exciting is that somebody has integrated with one of our plugins, and they've released an add-on today to make it easier to update documents in our Document Library Pro plugin. I will just share my screen so that you can see what this plugin is. So this is an existing plugin called WP Sync Sheets. My screen's a funny shape, isn't it? That's probably better for you. So this is basically a plugin that allows you to use Google Sheets to update content on a WordPress website. So previously, they let you integrate with like WordPress core, like your blog posts and pages. So if you wanted to update all your blog posts at once, you could do so in a Google Sheet. And they already had various add-ons for things like WooCommerce, Elementor, Contact Form 7, lots of top plugins there. All of which it lets you update them using Google Sheets. And now there's a Document Library Pro one as well. So if you're using our Document Library plugin, then you can now buy this add-on from WP Sync Sheets in order to update from a spreadsheet. So you can import new documents that way. Our plugin already has a bulk importer, but you can use that method. You can mass update documents, which is not a feature of our plugin. At the moment, it's not possible to update documents in bulk. You have to do that per document. So this is, I think, most useful for that. And you can also export documents to a spreadsheet. For example, maybe if you wanted to copy them between websites or something like that, then you could save time, put them in a spreadsheet and then import them to your other website. So that's pretty cool. And thanks to the authors of that plugin for doing this integration.
There'll be a link to that later on in the description of this video if you're watching the replay. And I do see in the notes that it says 10% discount.
Oh, good point. Yes. And they've also kindly offered to our existing customers a 10% discount. So if you're already using any of our plugins, then you might know that we have a secret discount center, which is only sent to existing customers. And if you are a customer and you don't know how to find that, then just ask support and they will tell you. And probably in the next day or two, we will be adding the 10% discount from WP Sync Sheets to our discount center so that you can get that discount.
Nice one.
Also, this month, we've released an admin demo for our WooCommerce Discount Manager plugin, and that allows people to test drive it and see how the discounts work in the back end before they buy it and try it on their own site. And if you watch these regularly, you'll know that we are constantly adding more and more admin demos of our plugins. And so that is the latest one, and we'll keep adding more. And finally, every month we talk about the development of version 2 of our WooCommerce product options plugin. And I keep telling you it will be released soon, and it never is. Welcome to software development. That always happens. Particularly now we've got our new full-time quality assurance engineer who's doing a great job, although that does add a bit of extra time to each release. But I think the world saw the value of that this month with CrowdStrike and the global terrible IT outage. And we were like, well, we have a quality assurance engineer that checks stuff before updates. Apparently they don't. So yes, add importance time to projects. But so he's doing the final testing of version 2.0 of WooCommerce product options, which includes lots of things like, particularly to our price formulas, you can now use any options, not just numbers, in price formulas. So imagine if a customer selects a checkbox that has a particular number, like the size of a curtain length or something, then that can then be used in the price formula to calculate the price. Previously they had to actually type the number, but now we can link other options with numbers. It'll make more sense when you see it when it's released. It's got really complex stuff if you're a maths person, with all the mathematical and logical operators and creating your own custom variables and all things that are beyond me. Yeah, and there's various other features as well, not to do with the price formula, like pricing by how many files the user uploads and improvements to conditional logic and lots of stuff like that. So that is in the final stages of testing. We have also promised you a live preview feature for WooCommerce product options. And we've decided we're not quite ready to launch that with 2.0, but we are actively working on it. And because I know a lot of you are interested, I'm going to show you a quick demo, which I actually saw for myself for the first time about 2 hours ago. So it's not fully ready to release to the world, but I will show you what we have. So we will go to the demo product. So this is a normal WooCommerce product, but we've used our WooCommerce product options plugin to add a file upload field for the logo. And I've used some other options for you selecting the t-shirt size and color, but you can use variations or whatever. And there are many ways to do that. So I'm going to show you the preview, which is what's new. So I'm just going to upload a file, which you can see here. And this is the new bit. It's opened up a preview window. And so I can add the logo that I just uploaded to my t-shirt, and I can resize it. I can move it around. And we will also be adding a printable area feature to it so that you can prevent people from doing that, for example, which would look stupid. You can't print in the air. So we're going to allow you to actually specify what part of your product image is printable. And then when the customer submits the order, they will be able to see it on their cart and so on as they go through the process. And then the preview image that they've created will be sent through to the store owner so that they can process it. And we're also looking at adding things like the actual exact coordinates of the image they've uploaded so that you really have that detail for when you produce the final product. So that is still in progress. I'm not even going to bother giving you a release date because I don't have one. And if I did, it wouldn't be correct. But you can see it's in progress and it's on the way. So let's get to the questions then. Firstly, Mohammed hasn't left a question yet, has he? No. So we had a question from Mohammed who wants to know about the table. So while we're live, please add more information about exactly what you want to know, and we'll be happy to answer.
We have 3 table plugins. So if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, we could talk for hours
Yeah.
about the table. So please narrow it down. Yeah.
Yeah, that's for sure. Shall I introduce product filters?
Yes.
Okay, great. Just gonna share that. So this is our demo of our WooCommerce product filters plugin. This is a mock store, but it has almost 200 products. And so you can see over here, if you filter by color, you can see there's 60 items with the black color or even more. And so the filters plugin, it has 2 different kinds of filters, these drop-down filters at the top. This is the default one from WooCommerce, but then you can also sort by something like fabric thickness, season, pattern, and so on. And the more filters you apply, the less products are going to show up. Over here, we have gender options. In this case, I've already filtered out the available options for women, so that's why it's just the one there. But then you have colors, sizes, and some products are have multiple sizes and colors. So when you add a new color or a new size, the same products will still be applied and everything. But yeah, this is, I guess you could say, it's like the industry standard for a e-commerce shop in terms of filters. And so you've got drop downs, star ratings, price slider. You've got the check boxes, which you can have multiple selected, and you can get that Ajax preloading. Sorry, not preloading, but loading every time somebody adds a new filter. Or you can apply a bunch of filters and then hit a button here, which will say apply filters, and so they can apply 5 or 6 at once. And that's up to you in the backend settings. So I think that's a general overview of filter plugin.
Yeah, and we have a question about this plugin. So Robert wants to know how to create filters in a table with a first column with the filter name, second column with the filter values. And he's given an example. So I'm going to show you the example, and then I will show you the closest you can get to implementing it, which is not implementing it exactly, I will say now. So this is the website that Robert has sent, and at the top you've got hundreds and hundreds of things in a table. These are filters, believe it or not. God, there's a lot. You can show only the most popular ones, or you can show absolutely tons. And so you've got columns for different things, and then you can click on them to filter the products. And then below, you've got a product table, which I don't know if this uses our product table plugin, but it's very similar to our WooCommerce product table plugin, which for this sort of very technical product that you can see here, it's much better than the default layout you get with WooCommerce because it's much more structured. You can see here, there's a huge amount of data visible in the table, and which you wouldn't normally have on a WooCommerce shop page. So that's why people use plugins like our WooCommerce product table for that. But we're talking about the filters, and WooCommerce product table has some really basic filters, which are just drop-down lists. And filter plugin, which Sam just showed you, has more advanced filters, but it does not have anything like what we see here. What it has instead is, I will show you a demo page. So this is a different usage of our plugin, where instead of a table, I've added quite a lot of filters here, where you click on each one to see the options within. And they're all, you can display them in different styles. There's lots of styles, many of which Sam just showed you, but they're hidden within these quite neat drop-down buttons so that they don't take up the whole page. And you can imagine you could add quite a lot of these and still be above the fold on a large monitor, which is not a table like Robert asked for, but that's the closest that you can do with our plugin. You could also add them to a sidebar on the page, but I've done it above the product table because that's closer to the table view or filters, which Robert was talking about.
Yeah, and you might want to prioritize which filters should be most visible and which filters are going to be less necessary, but still need to be available at some point. So maybe some could be on the widget and some could be on the top. Is that correct?
Yeah. And
Okay.
with the widget in particular, there are ways you can do things like show and hide the filters. So you can have collapsible filter names and it takes up less space. So I'd say, yeah, you really need to think about not taking up the whole page in that scenario and thinking about the best way to present the data.
I see Cameron Jones has our back here, Katie. She says
Yeah.
easy digital downloads took like 10 years for version 3.0 from when they announced it. So
That
okay.
is fair. Yeah, they really did. We were waiting for it because we use Easy Digital Downloads to sell our own plugins, and we were waiting years and years and years for 3.0, and it had things like better reporting and things that we wanted, and then it was about 3 months work to make our website function with 3.0 because they changed so much. But that's another story. We try not to do that to our customers, but backward compatibility didn't work very well in that case. Nightmare. Anyway, let's move on to the Document Library Pro.
Sure. Sounds good. And
So you were going to introduce the plugin, and then we've got, I think, 3 questions about this plugin.
Oh, okay, yeah. I think I have it in the other order. I've
I can
got
introduce it if you like.
I've got product options next.
You're right. I had just scrolled too far. Right. Let's do product options then. So I was going to introduce that. So I will share my screen. So we already looked at WooCommerce product options earlier when we were looking at the live preview, but this demo is actually what's in the plugin now that you can use straight away. So it's basically a way of adding any type of extra option to your products. So here's a popular use case with pizza toppings, and people use it for all sorts of food products, either on its own or with our restaurant ordering plugin, which works with it. So it's better than variations, because with a variation, can you imagine having like drop downs for all of these things? And you'd have to, in the back end, you'd have to add every single possible combination of crust and toppings, which is like, in this case, it would be like 18 variations. But here it's much simpler, because you just add a price to each option, and it's just a lot easier for the store owner, and it looks better. And another use case I'll quickly show you would be like gift wrapping. Here you can also see the conditional logic that we've built in. So if I tick this box, please gift wrap the necklace, then you've got some nice options that appear. Again, much prettier and more flexible than variations.
Mm-hmm. It's not only just that there's so many combinations of variations you would have to create in the backend. It's that you can't create, these variations with 3 of the same things together, like 3 toppings together or whatever, where it's so much simpler with the checkboxes, because then it just shows up on your order list, for example.
That's true. Yeah, you just couldn't do that, could you? You'd have to create a variation for like, oh, I don't know, it would just be a nightmare. So
Yeah. You'd have to just ask them to write what they want or something. Yeah. Just call us and order your pizza.
Exactly what people are trying to avoid in their e-commerce sites. Yeah.
So I have a question, and this is from Jason. He says, I would like to know how to better use this plugin for my screen printing business. Well, Jason, I'm glad you asked. And the updates that will be coming in the future that Katie mentioned at the beginning of this video are going to be even more useful for you specifically because of the screen printing options. But I have created a demo product that I'm going to share in the call now, in the live stream. And it's a similar product to what's on our demo, but I just modified a few things for this specific use case of screen printing. First of all, I added some text here for processing time. This is just purely text, and it's not dynamic. We do have a lead time plugin, which allows you to create more dynamic lead times. But in this case, I think just some text is fine. Then I've got t-shirt size and shirt color here. So you can see that these colors match the demonstrated colors in the images here. And these are also set to required. And then from here, this is where you can have your people upload a design if they want, have your customers upload something. So let me just find something and do that real quick. So I'm just uploading a little Barn2 logo here.
And see, that didn't open the image preview like I just showed you, but it will do if you want it to in the future.
That's right, yeah. And then some custom text here is another option. So people can write something that they want to appear on the shirt. And then once that's filled in, I've got a bunch more options that just show up. I can either choose from the font presets like this, or I can make a custom font entry, which has a surcharge. And then I could write, for example, Montserrat. This is just something I did in 5 minutes, so it might not be the perfect way to do it. And then you say, perhaps you'd like to personalize the back of the t-shirt. Then you've also got these options occurring again. And if you're curious what that looks like on the back end, because I really like this stuff, it's not that complicated. I promise. This is just the text and size, everything you've just seen. It's all here. The logic is not that complicated, but I think it's pretty good. Anyways, so yeah, there's already some tutorials on YouTube about how to do this sort of thing, but I promise this only took about 10 minutes once I decided what I wanted to do. So yeah, I hope that's helpful in the short term for you, Jason. Let me just go back to this one. So yeah, you'll need some images that are demonstrating what kind of printing you can do, whether it's for t-shirts or business cards or something. You need some really good demo images. I think that's the key thing here. And you might also want to take your customers' details like an email and send them a preview of what the final design will look like. And maybe you have some kind of design iteration process with them. I noticed a lot of screen printing businesses also do it based on quotes. So they quote a price for a job. So you may also want to integrate that. But this is a good starting point for customers.
Yeah, you can use plugins like Yit request a quote or something like that for if you want to do that instead. And
Mhm.
Sam, do you think it's worth mentioning bulk variations? Because a lot of t-shirt printing companies want to display the sizes and colors more visually, don't they? Or more.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not on that page where it shows the thing. Do you have that ready to
I've
go
got
still?
one. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
I will. Right. So I'm going to take over. There we go. So this is similar to Sam's product, but instead of using normal variations or product options to do the sizes and colors, this one uses our WooCommerce bulk variations plugin to create this grid with the colors and the sizes. And when you go to websites that allow people to customize clothing, you very often see a grid just like this one. And so you've got the product options below that are just like the ones that Sam did. And this is an alternate way to display the sizes and all the colors.
Mm-hmm. And that's WooCommerce bulk variations, also available. I think if you go to the demo for WooCommerce product options and find that custom printed T-shirt, it will also link to that product for you.
True. And we can put that in the YouTube description. Can you
Yeah,
make a note of that?
exactly. I'm just going to make a note of that right now. Awesome.
Okay. So I think we are up to Document Library Pro now.
Nice. Okay, here we go. Let's go to the next one. By the way, I saw there were some nice comments from Donna.
Oh, yes, let's do some nice comments. So, yeah. So Donna wants to shout out to our awesome tech support, Edge and Faisal. Yeah, they are amazing. Donna says they especially helped her with the Wholesale Pro plugin, which is the best plugin ever. Well, thank you, Donna. And we'll pass that to Edge and Faisal specifically as well. And for everyone watching this live, Donna highly recommends Barn2 and any of their great plugins. Well, thank you very much. You can watch again.
Thank you, Donna. Well, that's very nice endorsement. Awesome. All right. So this is Document Library Pro, and one of our all-time favorite plugins. If you have a website where you need to store or share any kind of documents like PDFs, company rule books, guides, policies, that kind of thing, or you're just archiving and documenting something of personal interest, this plugin is going to make your life so much easier. I just made a video that's coming out or came out today about the basically how to use this plugin as a file manager for the front end of your site. So we have the table view. This is where your documents are being displayed with the title, summary, tags, and any other sort of columns that you want, including some download links and preview links as well. So you can preview the PowerPoint within the WordPress page. And if I scroll down here, I'm going to skip that and come back to it. This is the grid layout. So this is kind of the alternative to the table layout. So you get these nice tiles. This is a very like kind of block theme looking layout. It's nice. I think it looks very nice. You can also do that without the images, but rather just with the preview of the type of file it is. And then up here, this is the folder view. So with either the grid layout or the table layout, you can enable these folders, which will sort everything based on their categories that you set up in the back end. And this is much more akin to finding your files on your computer. And so if you're the sort of person like me who likes to keep all your files organized in nice folders, then you'll like this as well. And it's also easier for the people on the front end to find your documents.
Yeah.
All right.
Can you keep this open? Because I think that'll be useful for the
Yeah,
next few questions.
absolutely. Yeah.
So first of all, we've just had a comment from Ethan who says, with Document Library Pro, interested in learning about search options, but looks like it will be pretty straightforward to use SearchWP to add a document content search index. Yeah, he's done his research. So you can see on the screen now where under Demo 3 Grid with images, we've got a search box, and that's part of Document Library Pro itself. And it will search basically the contents of the document library, but not the files which are accessible from the library. So it looks at ebook and all the text about it and the data about it and whatever. But when you click the download button, it's not going to search the text of the downloadable file. So this is why Ethan's been looking at SearchWP, which is a third-party plugin, a very good one. We use it on our own website actually for our knowledge-based search. And SearchWP is a far more advanced professional search solution for WordPress. So it's got things like searching within the content of the downloadable documents, and also loads and loads of other stuff like search analytics, which you don't get with our plugin, because our plugin is not intended to be a comprehensive search solution. It's a document library plugin with a simple search. So use it with SearchWP to supercharge your search and add all of this stuff. It's even got things like ways to improve the accuracy of I can't even talk accurately. Accuracy of searches. Like I analyze our knowledge-based search regularly, and for example, people spell short code wrong all the time. So I've added pseudonyms, synonyms, where I add all the misspellings in so that people find an actual knowledge-based article, even if they misspell short code. And you can do tons of stuff with it to have a better search. So if you're kind of creating a document library on a professional level with lots and lots of documents, then it's maybe worth using SearchWP, including for Ethan's use case.
Awesome. Yeah.
The next question, we've got two questions from Sydney. Sydney says, I am looking for... Actually, I'm going to read her full question because it was too long to fit on the screen. So the full question was, I'm looking for a solution to add teacher curriculums to a website. I really like the document library. I need the flexibility to have more than one library to keep documents separate. For example, we have documents used internally and have curriculums that we want to display on the site for the teacher curriculum. So yes, with Document Library Pro, you can actually see on the page that Sam has open right now that you're not stuck to one list of documents. We have multiple document libraries. And on this page, we've used a shortcode to add 3 document libraries to the same page. And you can, there's like lots of options that you can choose which documents to display in each one. So there's like a category shortcode option that you could use to just display documents from a specific category, but it goes far further than that. You can display documents by tag, date, tons of stuff basically. And it's not just on the same page. You can also add these shortcodes anywhere on your site and have multiple pages, each listing different documents. So that's fine.
Katie, do you think this is also a good place to mention our security plugins?
Yeah, well, Sydney's next question leads us very naturally to that, which is looking for a way for a user to access the documents through a login page, username and password. So yes, when you buy Document Library Pro, we've got like 2 columns on the pricing table where you can buy it on its own, or you can buy it with our other plugin, password protected categories. And Sydney would want to buy it with password protected categories because that allows you to make parts of your document library private or the whole thing. So with the 2 plugin bundle here, You can either just password protect documents so that anybody can access them by entering a password. They don't need their own account. But I think for Sydney's use case, particularly for the teacher side of things, where the same people will regularly be accessing the document library, it would be better to create an account for each teacher or whoever needs to access it, and then they would log into your WordPress website using the normal WordPress login facility with their username and password. And on the documentation for password protected categories plugin, there's lots of advice about professional ways to set that up. Like, you don't want your teachers to see the WordPress admin, probably. You want to keep them on the front end. And there's lots of things like WordPress login plugins and things that you can use to allow teachers to log in. And then for each category of documents in your document library, you just choose which users or user roles can see those documents. So it's really flexible, it's easy to set up, and I think that's the best way to do it.
Yeah, awesome. All righty. So I now have another question, unless there are some comments. Okay.
Nope, keep going.
All right. So Bob asks, for Document Library Pro, would it be possible to send the notification for a new document submission for approval to another email address? For example, not the WP admin email. Well, this is a good question. The short answer is not precisely. We don't have a precise solution for this, but we do have a workaround, and you can actually read about that in this section of our knowledge base, which the entire article is called Adding and Importing Documents. So it's one of the main steps that you get when you go onto the document. It's under Getting Started, sorry, in the knowledge base for this plugin. Hopefully I can find it again. Here we go. So how to send the emails to a different address. I'm not going to go through the entire thing, but the basic way to do it is you basically create a redirect for the email, and you can even set it up so that email will get deleted in the original inbox. So it gets forwarded and then deleted from the original. So the admin doesn't have to see all those emails. So yeah, there is a way to do it. It's just a little bit, it just requires a little bit of setup.
Yeah, I do that for all sorts of things where it's not possible to do it in the software, but I've got a lot of filters in my Gmail that just sends things on to the relevant person without needing to update the email centrally or something if that has other consequences. So you can have an unlimited number. And things like Zapier are really good for that as well, although with this I'd probably just do it straight in the email.
Now I also have this tab open. I'm wondering if this is the next question or if it's related to the same one. Just checking what we have next.
So before we go to the next question, we are getting towards the end of our pre-submitted questions. So if you've got questions to ask and you're watching live, then please type them into the comments wherever you're watching this now, including Cluebird13, who's got one about Post Table Pro. So please add it now, and we will get to that after we finish the Document Library Pro questions.
I wonder what happened to the other 12 Cluebirds.
They're around. They just got in earlier with the address.
Yeah.
With the username. So Justin wants to know, can specific user roles be notified when a new document is uploaded to a specific category? So that's quite similar to Bob's question, but a slightly different angle on it. So yes, you can do this in two ways, and this is the link to the page that I'm just about to show you.
I've got it now.
Okay, cool. So there's a plugin called Mail Opt-in, which is very good, which allows you to do all of this through your WordPress dashboard. So it's the kind of automated email marketing plugin which lets you notify people whenever you publish something on your WordPress site. So in this case, you can set up mail opt-in to notify people when you publish a new document. And you can either do it for all your documents, or like Justin wants, he wants to do it for documents based on category. So mail opt-in offers a nice, easy to use way of doing that. And in addition to that, you can use any kind of RSS feed emailing solution. So WordPress itself has RSS feeds built into everything, basically all its archive pages. So the document category pages have their own RSS feed. And that means that, let's say you're using MailChimp for your email marketing. MailChimp has an RSS feed driven email type. So you can create a campaign in MailChimp, which automatically sends the latest items that have been added to that RSS feed. And the email will only send when you have published documents in that category, because it's triggered by the act of things appearing in that field. And once you set it up, that will all be automatic, just like with mail opt-in. So it depends on whether you want to use a plugin or just do it directly in your email marketing software.
Awesome. And like I mentioned at the beginning, I will be including all of these links that we are putting up on the screen today in the description on the YouTube replay. So if you go to the YouTube channel, click on our live videos, because that's where it'll show up as the most recent one, and go down to the description, and the links will all be there. You just maybe have to look through the list and see, because I put them in chronological order of when they came up in the video.
Yeah, so we've got Mark says Cluebird is here. Do you think he is pretending to be Cluebird number 1, or do you think that he's Cluebird 13 on a different account that is moved?
Okay.
So either way, Mark has a question about Posttable Pro. So he may well be Cluebird 13, pretending to be Cluebird the original. Related to Posttable Pro, curious if there is a way to collect data via a form from users and display on the front end. I believe this function is available with Library, but not sure if it is with Posts. You're right, it's not a feature of Posttable Pro, but you can do it by using Posttable Pro with a form plugin that
I have a tutorial.
Yeah,
I have a
you're
tutorial
an expert on this.
with Contact Form 7. I've shown how to do it. Of course, it's also possible with something like Gravity Forms. But yeah, there is a video which it's pretty much, I think it's the only video on our channel which mentions Contact Form 7. So again, if you go to our YouTube channel, search Contact Form 7, it'll be the first one that pops up.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it is kind of complicated, and it depends on the form plugin and how they use their like how they link to the custom posts types that we need when we do this process. I had a little bit of a headache figuring that out until it made sense later. So
you were
yes.
really new, weren't you? You just started in the role, and I gave you this really complicated video to test your WordPress skills.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I found the link to our written tutorial about how to do this with Gravity Forms. Although, like Sam says, there's various other plugins, different contact form plugins. But the key thing is that you can't just use any old contact form. You need a way for the contact form to save the data as a WordPress post or custom post. And then once it's saved in WordPress as a post or a custom post type, then Posttable Pro is absolutely fine. Posttable Pro cannot display, for example, Gravity Forms entries directly because they're not posts. It's all about the kind of way that WordPress stores information. It needs to actually be a post or a custom post type. So our tutorials and videos recommend things like bridging plugins, which you can use to get the data from the form plugin into a WordPress post or custom post, and then Posttable Pro will display it. So document library is easier because we provide our own front-end document submission, where you've got to go through this route of using a form plugin for Posttable Pro.
Exactly, yeah. And I will say it is a matter of what you put in is what you get out. So the more time you spend on the solution, the better the results are going to be, and the nicer looking the posts will display after you've kind of configured the form correctly and set it all up. Yeah.
Yeah, you can do some really cool stuff. You can be very advanced with all creating lots of custom fields and taxonomies to allow people to submit with the post, and then that's saved automatically and displayed in Post Table Pro. And another thing that you get with Document Library Pro that you have to get from your Forms plugin in this case would be the moderation of new items that are submitted. So Document Library can hold new documents for moderation by the administrator before they appear in your document library. With Post Table Pro, if you want that, you need to check that your Forms plugin has that or something. Or the easier way might just be to, when it's created as a WordPress post, save it as a draft or something like that. So you need to think about that. But yeah, if you just save it as a draft, then that will do the job because it won't go live till you publish it.
I need to take this link for the description, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and maybe any other links to the other form plugins, because we've got tutorials about all of them, like, well, the big ones like WP Forms and WS Form and all of Ninja Forms, Contact Form 7. There are many, and you can do it with all the big ones. So Mark says he will explore. Thanks, and appreciate the insights. And he has confirmed he is only Bluebird 13. I'm sorry.
That's all right. Very amused by that for some reason.
Right. So, well, most people add their year of birth or something, don't they? You can always tell when the username wasn't available.
No, thank you, Mark. That's awesome. I see Bob also was happy with the solution for the emails, potentially a good solution for the client. So we hope that works out for you. And,
excellent.
Yeah, awesome. Was there any other plugins we're discussing?
No, I think we're done, and there's no more comments, so I think we can finish.
Oh, wow. All right. Well, thank you guys, first of all, for the people who are attending live. Thank you for leaving your comments, and it's always fun to interact and chat with you guys. And we're always available on X or Twitter. You can ping one of us, and Katie will get back to you. No, I'm just kidding. I'll get back to you as well.
You get back if it's YouTube, don't you?
That's make sure to check out the YouTube channel, guys. And there are a lot of these questions there are actually videos for. So if you're a visual learner like me, the videos do exist. Maybe you just have to do a little bit of searching, and we hope you can find it. And yeah, so I think that's everything for me.
Okay, so next month's live stream is on the 29th of August, and you can register at barn2.com/event. So ask your questions there. And in the meantime, if you've got any questions that you need to know before, obviously just go to our website, barn2.com, and contact us via the support centre. You don't have to wait a month for any further questions.
Exactly.
So we'll see. Yeah. So we'll see you next month, and thanks for watching. Bye.
Thank you.